Hello everyone, welcome to Everything Arsenal. Let's get the latest transfer news. In case you didn't catch up with the earlier live show, make sure to check that one out. But we have more updates on Sesko and also Kepa. So let's get to it. Updates from Florian Plettenberg and also Ben Jacobs all have had something to say about Sesko. Starting to look very, very likely that Sesko is the one. I said a couple of days ago that I think 70% is going to be Sesko, 30% is going to be Gyökeres. It's now looking very likely that Sesko is going to be Arsenal's striker next season. So this is what Florian Plettenberg said 7 hours ago. Negotiations between RB Leipzig and Arsenal regarding Benjamin Sesko have started as revealed, positive and ongoing. There have been new discussions within the last 48 hours, deal on. So that was 7 hours ago that Florian Plettenberg gave us that update. And then 4 hours ago, he said Benjamin Sesko is now keen on a move to Arsenal. Negotiations with the player progressing positively. There have been clear progress in discussions over personal terms, but no verbal agreement has been reached yet. Arsenal have also not submitted an official offer to RB Leipzig. That atmosphere between all parties is very fair and transparent. Deal on. That's not the only updates that Florian Plettenberg has given us on Sesko. He went on to give us yet another one just 2 hours ago. More on Benjamin Sesko, who's keen on joining Arsenal with advanced talks ongoing over personal terms. Arsenal cannot simply trigger the 80 million euro release clause. That is around 68 million pounds. It's a complicated structure and the clause has also increased. That's why the fee is being negotiated freely. Arsenal, with Andrea Bata involved, are fully informed. A transfer fee of 80 to 100 million euros will be due. So that's let's say around 70 million pounds. Leipzig and Sesko share a top relationship. The player is relaxed and holds great respect for RB. Now waiting for agreement. So we've gone through a lot there. Let's start from the top, from where he started. Actually, the second one. So he says Benjamin Sesko is now keen on a move to Arsenal. Last transfer window last year, same time last year, Leipzig weren't really keen on selling him, and it felt like Sesko was 50-50 about joining Arsenal and staying with Leipzig. He ended up deciding to stick with Leipzig. This time around, it's a bit different. It looks like he wants to move on, and Leipzig want to move him on, especially now that they don't have European football. And I think last year they had a gentleman's agreement that they're going to let him leave this transfer window. And now Arsenal wanted him last season as well. I don't know how much. I don't know if we wanted him as much as we do right now at this moment. Maybe last season it was a case of we want a striker, we want Sesko, let's see if he's available, you're going to get him. But now it feels like, oh my goodness, we've had a season where once again, this time it has been so clear that we need a striker. Now we have to really get you. Your preference, we have to get you into our team. So he's keen on a move to Arsenal. Negotiations with the player progressing positively. There have been clear progress in discussions over personal terms. So the personal terms, we basically started talking about them last year when Edu was here. So I think we did some groundwork on that one already. Arsenal have also not submitted an official offer to RB Leipzig. So I think if Arsenal went right now and gave Leipzig 80 million pounds, they would accept the bid. But Arsenal do not want to pay that much money. They want to negotiate the release cost because he wants, or Leipzig want, around 80 million euros, which is around maybe 70 million pounds. A lot of money, still higher than Gyökeres, depending on if Gyökeres ends up being that 67 million or things change on his side as well. He ends up being more expensive. The atmosphere between all parties is very fair and transparent. So if Leipzig were not in a rush to sell him, I would say this might take another like 2-3 weeks to get done, just like the Declan Rice one. But because Leipzig are very keen on selling him right now, I think before the end of the month, before the new financial year starts, they want to sell him as quickly as possible. I think Arsenal will get him this month, but I don't think it's going to be like this week. And we might see an agreement, but I think those discussions will continue to go on. And I still think that Gyökeres will still be in the picture up until we are like 99% confident that Sesko is going to join us. That's when you're going to like forget about talking about Gyökeres, or the club will stop going for Gyökeres and start focusing fully on Sesko. I think we wanted both of them, as it's already been reported, but still hasn't been agreed. So let's see. We've heard that Liverpool might want him, United want him. I think between those teams, if Arsenal and Sesko, we're going to get him because you've already done a lot of groundwork on him. And United already have a striker, and Liverpool, Jota and Nunes are still there. I mean, you can say that Arsenal have Havertz, but Arsenal don't have an out-and-out striker. So you can actually convince him that, hey, if you come in, you score goals, that is your position. We don't have anyone else who can play that position, or anyone else who can play that position too. Top expectations, like score 20-plus goals for us this season. We are going to convince him, but let's see who you're going to decide between these two. So that's the update from Florian Plattenberg. Let's go to the next updates from this time Ben Jacobs. Ben Jacobs says Arsenal continue talks with Leipzig over Benjamin Sesko with a bid possible soon. Sesko is keen on a move to Arsenal. Victor Gyökeres still under consideration, as Andrea Berta keen to advance multiple options before officially bidding, but Sesko discussions are more advanced. Arsenal feel both Sesko or Gyökeres can be secured for around 70 million euros, and Gyökeres remains open to Man United even without Champions League football, as revealed yesterday, even though Man United haven't yet made an approach to Sporting to date. So says the same thing here as Plettenberg, that Sesko is happy to join Arsenal, but we haven't made a bid yet, but a bid could soon come. But he adds that Victor Gyökeres is still under consideration. So from yesterday to today, you would think that, okay, now it doesn't seem like you're going to get Gyökeres, but from what Ben Jacobs says, we are still looking at Gyökeres. We want to pay, that is around 60 million pounds. I think that's what Arsenal want to pay. I think for any of them that you're going to get, they want to pay like around 60 million. But Sporting might want 70 million for Gyökeres, and Leipzig might want up to 85 million pounds for Sesko. So there are negotiations going on. But funny enough, as he says, he'd be happy to join Man United, but no other team has made an approach for Gyökeres yet. We've heard that Chelsea might want him, Arsenal might want him, Man United might want him. We've had Liverpool might want Sesko, but no team has really made an approach for any of them yet. Up until now, Arsenal have made an approach for Sesko just a little bit. So I don't think any of those players will move like in the next few days. No, actually, someone like a Gyökeres, it might push. Whoever is going to get Gyökeres, it might be a deal that will push all the way to maybe July before anyone gets him. Now, will that be us, or by that time will we already have Sesko and you'd have forgotten about Gyökeres? Who will get Gyökeres? There's still like a 20% chance Gyökeres might end up, let me say 15% chance Gyökeres might end up staying at Sporting, but he might end up moving not necessarily to a Premier League team. You never know. You might see Gyökeres playing for Bayern Munich next week. He might next season. You might see him playing for Dortmund next season. You never know. These things usually happen. Those players, there's usually a couple of steps. Some players move from a Sporting or an FC Porto to Dortmund, and then after that, it's a step to either Real Madrid or to a Liverpool or to someone like that. They usually start from Sporting, and then they jump to like a Dortmund or to a Bayern, to Germany first, and then they move to England or Spain. That's what usually happens. I wouldn't even be surprised if Juventus, I've heard that Juventus want Gyökeres as well. So, but no one has made an approach as of yet. So they're still both out there in the open. No one has really made a bid for them, which is very interesting. Ben Jacobs goes on to add, I had another one for Ben Jacobs, but he basically said it was something to do with the money. He said it's going to be between, most likely the deal for Sesko is going to be done between around 65 to 75 million pounds, somewhere there. Fabrizio also said this: Arsenal are now in advanced negotiations for Benjamin Sesko. There is no agreement now expected this weekend, but there are discussions underway and proceeding well for all parties. So yeah, a lot of updates on Sesko today from 3-4 different journalists. So let's see what happens over the weekend if we get any more updates on him. But as of now, it's looking likely that we are favorites to sign Sesko. It's looking likely that Sesko is ahead of Gyökeres in terms of becoming Arsenal striker next season. Earlier on the live show, we talked about the reasons why Arsenal have said they prefer him. Basically, the entire board have said they prefer Sesko because of different reasons. They don't want to make a mistake like they did with Isaac. Isaac. They ignored Isaac, and now he's very, very good. They don't want to ignore Sesko, and then in the next 2 years, Sesko is scoring 30, 40 goals for another Premier League team. Obviously, because of his age, they say it's a better financial package. If you combine the wages and the fee that is going to cost, they feel like Gyökeres would be too expensive, and Sesko would be cheaper. But yeah, that's the latest on Sesko. An update again from inside the canon. He says there's now a unanimous agreement between the hierarchy of Arsenal, just as I was saying, and Mikel Arteta that Benjamin Sesko is the chosen one for the striker position. The player has his heart set on a move to the right side of London. The pursuit finally begins. So let's see how long it will take, how long the discussions will take before we get him. Let's hope we can get it done as soon as possible. Yeah, you don't want to miss out on both of them. That is something that you don't want to happen. If you miss out on both of them, I don't know where we are going to start after that. Goalkeeper situation. Ghana blog says Arsenal have made Kepa Arrizabalaga their main target as they seek to recruit a backup goalkeeper this summer. Arsenal see his 5 million release clause as potential market opportunity and are actively pursuing an agreement with the player. So on the live show, we didn't really discuss the money, or you didn't really discuss the money that much, but here Ghana blog confirms that it is £5 million that he is going to cost us. And for me, I know we are going to get another Chelsea player, but for £5 million for a backup goalkeeper, I'm happy. We didn't need to spend 25 million on Juan Garcia, and then we are going to spend like more than 50 million on Zubimendi, and right there we still need like 2-3 attackers, and that will be like already 80 million already spent before getting any forward player. No, backup goalkeeper like Kepa for that kind of money. A player who's played in the Premier League for Chelsea, for Bournemouth, he's played in European competitions, he's played for his country, he's played for Real Madrid recently, he's been a Bournemouth goalkeeper recently, playing once again in the league, and he's only going to cost you 5 million. I'm happy that he's a capable backup goalkeeper. If you had to ask me who do I prefer as a backup goalkeeper between Kepa and Neto, I would say Kepa, younger, and he's played for, I know Neto has played for Barcelona before. This guy has played for Real Madrid. He has been featuring. He is actually quite good for Real Madrid when he played. And for Bournemouth, I think he did well. I've seen him being nominated for Save of the Month at least twice. I think this year, not even last year. I think this year. So he's a good goalkeeper. I wouldn't have him as a first choice, like someone to come and replace Raya or something like that. No. For me, Raya is the best goalkeeper in the league. We have him as a first choice. Bring in Kepa as a second choice. I am totally happy with that. For 5 million, yes, after getting a backup goalkeeper for 5 million, and if you can get a backup defender for like 20 million, that's 25 million. And if, depending on how much budget we have, you have enough money to spend on a striker and on a left winger. The players we've been linked to, none of them is going to be cheap. Rodrigo, we're talking 80 million. Nico Williams, you're talking 50, 60 million. Eze, you're going to be talking 60 million. Rogers, you're going to be talking 70, 80 million. Who else? Semenyo, 60 million at least. Zubimendi, the one we are signing, it's more than 50 million. Sesko, Gyökeres, we've just talked about it. Teams want 70, 80 million. So if you're going to spend all that money on a defender and a goalkeeper, you're going to have problems. So 5 million for Kepa, I'm totally happy with that. Again, I know it's another Chelsea player. That is the joke going around. We sign a Chelsea player every single year. But for a backup goalkeeper, I'm quite happy with that. So that's the latest for today on Kepa and also on the Sesko situation. Let's see if there's any developments over the weekend, and then hopefully we do get our signings through the door very quickly. Hopefully, first of all, Zubimendi does his medical and he finalized that deal. There has been some few deals and movements. Gabriel has signed a new contract today. That is fantastic. That is one that we needed to get done. Looks like Trossard and Partey will sign new contracts very soon. Tavares moved on yesterday, so things have been. There are deals that have been done, not the ones that we want. Let me correct that. Gabriel signing a new contract is a deal that they definitely want. I saw someone commenting and saying, we don't care about that. Let's sign a striker. No, you have to care about Gabriel signing a new contract. If you bring for me Gyökeres or Sesko and then you sell Gabriel or Saliba, I'll not be buzzing, because I know you've still lost a part of your spine. It's just like, you're improving the attack, but you're killing the defense. No, we have to keep our best players and then add to it. That is Saka, that is Gabriel, that is Rice, and all those other guys. Keep them and then add to the forward areas, and then let's see how it goes. So thank you for watching, and I'll catch up with you guys on the next one.